What's good, everybody?
What up?
We are back again with another episode of Guess What? The No Hedging Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I go by the name of Rip 16, the GOAT.
And I am Ty the Jet.
And we are the mighty No Hedging Podcast duo. And we are still over here cooking, boy. I woke up this morning feeling like the air is thin up here. You know how you go, like when you get this high up, it's like it just started getting altitude, thin up there. Yeah. I felt my ears pop when I woke up this morning. I mean, I lost track of the W's. How many parlays was that?
We hit about three,
some. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, hey man, we just gotta keep it going.
Just gotta keep it going, man. We need y'all to keep it going, man. Make sure y'all tap in, like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to hear some more good ass bets and GOAT talk. Also, if you haven't, Props Made Easy. It's still hitting. They still giving out some good plays, and basketball season is back too.
Mm-hmm.
And the EV projections are even better on basketball than they are on football. So getting good consensus odds on the basketball plays is sensational. I can't wait. I have already placed a couple parlays for that on some props. So let's get it, man. Tune into that Props Made Easy. Hit that link in the description. It's going to take care of you. You're going to make that money back so fast you didn't even know you spent it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this show we like to call The Rundown.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to start with our phenomenal takeaways from week 7 of the NFL season.
Yeah, man.
What do you got?
What do you got? Week 7, man. Exciting week, obviously, because you know we won some money.
Yeah,
it's always an exciting week when you win some money.
As always,
when the teams that you pick, when your best bets are hitting, when your underdogs.
He was like, I knew I was right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Vegas, we tapped that, built the ass. But week 7, one of my takeaways, man. Let's talk about the Monday night football game. The Baltimore Ravens and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, sir.
Not so much about the Buccaneers, but let's talk about Lamar Jackson, man. Another MVP-like performance, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, very efficient, 17 of 22, 280 yards, ran the ball for about 50 yards. This offense is just tough to beat, man. You got Lamar Jackson's back there. Derrick Henry popped another big run for 80 yards.
He had 169 yards rushing.
We had a Mark Andrews sighting. Hit the end zone twice. Got Bateman involved as well. So Lamar
21 yards or so.
Lamar was he was spreading the ball around. Very efficient. That offense is hard to beat. The only concern that I had about that team was, they kind of let Tampa Bay get back in it towards the end to close the window a little bit. But
that defense
is solidified.
That defense is a little bit more concerning than it has been in years past. Yeah. They winning games, but it's just a smidget bit more concerning because they're usually a little bit more locked down than that.
Mm-hmm. Marlon Humphreys got injured after 2 huge interceptions, one in the red zone. That really changed the game for sure. But other than that, man, Lamar Jackson is looking like he's on the road to another MVP, back-to-back MVP season. So make sure you guys put those tickets in now. You might be a little late, but just put them in now.
You might be a little bit late, but you might be able to get a good bet in there still. He's still probably got some good odds on him.
In Lamar, I trust. Big trust. Look, I was saying this too. I said, look, whenever Lamar got the iced out grill playing, he's ready to he gonna show up. He gonna have a great game. Iced out grill, all 10 at the top, 10 at the bottom. Oh yeah, he locked in. He coming to dominate on primetime football. Don't play around.
Okay. I mean, I'm with it. I mean, and it still continues his record against the NFC teams.
Oh man, 23-1.
So I mean,
easiest bet of the week.
But the Ravens having Derrick Henry having all these huge rushing games just opened up the offense so much more.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's hard it's going to be hard to stop them, even with their somewhat defensive woes, letting some people back in some games. It's still going to be extremely hard to beat them when you have 160 yards rushing, 130 yards rushing, 200 yards rushing damn near. He had 199. So my thing is, when you have that much rushing going on, and then Lamar Jackson's rushing yards in that game, he might give you another 50 in the game. So, I mean, when you got that much going on the ground, that's just going to open up the passing game where you can have 2 touchdowns from Mark Andrews or a big game out of Bateman just beating people deep. Like,
oh, man, Lamar threw. I've been so impressed with Lamar's passing this year. It's been crazy. On top of him being efficient, he's been very accurate with the football, throwing it deep down the field.
Yeah.
Like that pass to Bateman was a dime.
Pretty.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, Lamar Jackson, shout out. I should have wore your jersey today, man. Damn.
Well, on the flip side of that, a takeaway that I had, I'm a little concerned about some guys, dudes and bros. My guys over there in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, bang bang Niner gang.
Bang bang Niner gang is banged the fuck.
They all banged up.
You got Deebo Samuel with pneumonia. He hasn't
almost messed up my fantasy.
Frame.
But it's all good.
He doesn't have a set return time frame. You got Kittle. He got a foot thing going on. His foot is kind of injured. I think they still expect him to play. You got Jawan Jennings, who they're expecting to come back from injury. You got Brandon Ayuk, who's out for the season now with a torn ACL.
I believe. Yeah.
I think it's an ACL or MCL. I can't quite remember. But
whatever it is, it's torn, and he's out.
They put you on the injury report for February 10th. That means we ain't expecting you till after the season is done. So,
and then Christian McCaffrey.
And McCaffrey is still not completely back yet. Hopefully he'll be back extremely soon. My thing is, who the hell is Brock Purdy going to pass it to?
They need to rely heavy on that run game.
With who though?
Anybody that Kyle Shanahan puts in that running back position, we've seen they've had success.
They had some success.
So
that's true.
It doesn't matter who is back there. It's all about the scheme. As long as they got Trent Williams on the outside still healthy, because that's a key factor in Brock Purdy's success as well. You got the Hall of Famer left tackle, Trent Williams, who's a dog. If you got him protecting Brock Purdy, they can run the football a little bit. If you got a little Kittle in there, they just have to be more creative, and they're going to have to be more run dominant. You know, you're going to have to take less off of Brock Purdy and put more on the run game so they can be successful. Because, I mean, they really don't have any weapons out there. Everybody's gone.
So you don't believe they cooked?
It's hard to say. They're the Niners. You know what I'm saying? This is one of these teams that we've seen in Super Bowls. We've seen in the playoffs for years consecutively. They dealt with injuries throughout the season as well, and guys came back towards the end of the season, and they made little runs here and there. So it's just hard to say if they're done for. As long as they can get Christian McCaffrey back, Deebo can come back, and Kittle can come back, I think they have a shot. But Ayuk is not going to be missed as much. You know what I mean?
I think Ayuk has been kind of like a security blanket more than a dominant target for the game. Yeah. Like,
he hasn't done anything this year anyway.
Deebo has been your more dynamic wide receiver, the one that you need to make a crazy play. Or you have Christian McCaffrey when healthy. He comes out, he makes dynamic plays. You have Kittle. So, I mean, I think between Jawan Jennings and George Kittle, you can kind of balance out that security blanket that Brandon Ayuk had. So I'm not over the top concerned about the Brandon Ayuk injury. It's just a question of how long are you going to be without Deebo Samuel?
Yeah, because the offense revolves around Deebo.
This season it revolves around Deebo. I mean, until you get McCaffrey back, then it'll kind of shift to Christian. But
it's the defense, man. That defense is going to have to step up. They're going to have to make plays. They're going to have to help out the offense. With their lack of, I
do think Kittle's still gonna play regardless of what his foot is.
Yeah, they need him to play through the injury. They need him.
He gonna play through that injury, I think. But I was just a little concerned that they might be cooked. We're gonna see though.
Yeah, Niners. I mean, it's real gloomy out there in the Bay right now.
Yeah. What else you got? What's your other takeaways from this past week?
Oh man, the Jets The goddamn Jets. Outside of them messing up a parlay for me.
We both had one parlay that didn't go through. Mind you, we put in multiple parlays, but we both had one. Yeah. Where it was one team.
Right. Well, my thing with the Jets, man, it seems like, one, the defense hasn't been playing as good since they got rid of Robert Saleh. They've been playing a little bit worse. Yeah. And the offense has been playing a little bit better, but the offense has been really sloppy. They've been shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they do that.
Balls bouncing off of Garrett Wilson's chest, getting picked off, going the other way. Penalties, false starts, holding, all these type of self-inflicting wounds. Offensively, they haven't been clicking as we wanted to see. But I do believe that since they got Devontae Adams in there, it was his first game with them in that system, in that offense. So it's going to take some time for him to kind of get right. But I will say this. That was a win that they should have gotten if they didn't have all these self-inflicting wounds. If they don't beat the Patriots.
How many times have we said that about the Jets?
If they don't beat the Patriots, they're in trouble.
They're done.
I think they're done now because I feel like we've seen who the Jets are. They are a team that is sloppy. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're not clean. They're not a nice button-up team. You know what I mean? They do what bad teams do. They find ways to lose versus finding ways to win. The defense is getting a little bit banged up in the secondary. The defense hasn't been playing well and causing more penalties. So it just hasn't been a clean game from the Jets on all sides of the football. So I think the Jets are who we see them to be. I don't think it gets that much better from here. When they play against better opponents, it's going to look even worse.
Yeah. When they play against better opponents, they're going to look worse for sure. That's my concern about the
goddamn Jets.
Yeah, man, they just look bad. A lot of times they just look uncoordinated. They look like a bunch of guys from LA Fitness that was playing basketball, went and got a football, and they started throwing it around, tossing around, fucking up, and tried to go against an NFL team sometimes. And I expect better out of some of their players, being the caliber of players that they are supposed to be. But it's something about that Jets uniform and something about when they get on the field and start doing stuff in unison, it just goes awry. I don't know what the answer is to that because your ass was losing with Robert Saleh. Your ass is still losing with the new coach and switching out Nathaniel Hackett. You got Russell Wilson putting up how many points on them? 37. Russell Wilson came. He's been chilling on the sidelines for about a month and a half, and he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll come in on this game," and blew their ass up, and it's sad. It's sad to see.
And the crazy thing is, T.J. Watt didn't really have a big impact in the game as he normally would. You know what I mean? The Jets did what they did what they do. The Jets are going to jet. You know what I'm saying? Like, Breece Hall had a decent game. He had a big.
He didn't have much of a running game though.
Yeah,
they rushing yards was terrible in that game, but he did have a big passing game.
Yeah,
I don't know if they. I mean, I guess they kind of use his passes as an extended run in a lot of ways.
Screens, check downs,
a lot of screens, check downs, and whatnot. But so he had over 100 yards receiving, but he only had 38 yards on the ground. So I mean, to me, you having 54 yards in total out of 3 runners is not good enough for you to really beat anybody of significance.
And that pass defense was terrible. Like I said, the Jets defense hasn't been playing well. Since Robert Saleh left, they've been playing awful, and that's probably the problem.
Yeah, that Jets defense can go to hell. I had much higher expectations out of them. I actually picked them up on fantasy, and them bitches lost me 3 points.
Damn.
So they can go to hell.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about the goddamn Jets. Yeah. Now we'll move on to our next segment. Another exciting segment. One of our new ones that we love to call Besides the Chiefs. We all know that the goddamn Chiefs are the number one. They're still undefeated. Surprise, surprise. But besides the Chiefs, who else are some contenders and who else are some pretenders out here? Now, just interestingly, just speaking on the other side, piggybacking off what you just said about the goddamn Jets, the Steelers. Interestingly enough, do you think the Steelers are contenders or pretenders?
As of today, I think they are legitimate contenders in the AFC. And the reason why, they made a switch at quarterback, obviously. Right. Justin Fields was on our segment. I had Justin Fields on one of our segments, the Clock Out For Me Big Dawg. You wanted him to clock out. I wanted him to clock out.
And he did.
They got him clocked out. Russell Wilson comes in there. He has a slow start in the first quarter, but he starts to pick up, get his legs going, throwing the ball deep down to George Pickens. I know George Pickens loves Russell Wilson. Just throw the ball in his area and he's gonna catch it.
Yeah.
Contested balls, jump balls, tip balls. He's gonna catch the rock. So the thing about Russell Wilson in this offense now, opposed to what Justin Fields is in the offense, is they can stretch the ball down the field. They can throw the ball deep. The problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was just like slow. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like explosive plays, nothing really major. But now you got Russell Wilson in the mix. He can use his legs a little bit, heavy on the play action, heavy on the bootlegs. Right. Got Najee Harris having a good run game. You can run the ball off of that, pass the ball off of that. Now you bootleg and throwing the ball down the field. On top of their defense is playing top notch. One of the top defenses in the league. Obviously, they take the ball away. They apply pressure with their front four. You got T.J. Watt. You got Highsmith that came back in the game as well. So, and the secondary is really good. You have one of the DBs back there who had a good game. Had 2 interceptions on Aaron Rodgers. Can't remember his name. I think it was Bishop was his last name. But outside of that, I mean, Joey Porter on the side, on the outside playing corner, coming up to make plays. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick in the playing center field, making sure nothing gets behind him. So the Pittsburgh defense is a contender type defense, playoff championship type defense, and now you insert Russell Wilson, who's going to be able to throw the ball down the field, stretch the field. I think they're a contender right now.
I agree with you and Beanie Man.
Bishop, yeah.
This is the guy you're looking for. But I agree with you. I think, also to add on all of those points that you just so eloquently stated, they have a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
Tomlin is...
I forgot about the disrespect.
Tomlin is a legitimately good coach and has been a legitimately one of those top tier, I would argue, God tier coaches.
For 20 years.
For about 20 years now. And when you got a coach like that that's in that realm, he's going to know how to utilize his personnel that he has. Mm-hmm. So switching out Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, whatever, like they're 5-2 for a reason. So, I mean, and then the other part of that is some of the other teams in their division are struggling, right? So the Bengals, although they won against the Giants, I would argue that they still having some struggles and some woes this season. The Browns,
show.
It's a shit show. They're appropriately named Brown for a reason. So, I mean, it's really just them and the Ravens at this point that look the strongest in their division. Mm-hmm. Of course, the Bengals aren't completely out of it, but for those reasons, it's just like the path that they have to go through to get to the playoffs, the defense that they have, the coach that they have, I think it does legitimately put them in a good contender spot. Now, I do want to see how Russell Wilson does against a better team than the Jets. That'll kind of give me a more accurate measuring stick because the Jets are just a shit show right now. So that'll kind of give me a little bit more of an accurate measuring stick. But to date, I do feel like the Steelers are also contenders. I agree with you.
For sure.
Now, another one on the flip side of it, the Rams.
Oh, they ain't no contender to me. Pretender.
Yeah, flip side.
Well, they 2-5. No, they done.
The thing is,
the only thing that's helping the Rams out is that their division isn't that good this year.
Their division is banged up.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Their division is definitely banged up, and they're not that
The door is open for them.
The door is still open for them. That's the only reason I would be in agreement with you. However, the only reason I'm on the fence about it is just because their division is so banged up. So it's like if they can get healthy towards the latter end of the season and they're still in it to either get a wild card spot or win the division if the 49ers are cooked, they got a shot to be a little scary. Kyron, Puka. Only thing I'm hearing these trade talks about Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to blow it up.
Seem like, and I think this is the part where the team has to decide whether they're contenders or pretenders. Because if you're gonna say you are a legitimate contender, you do want to keep a healthy Cooper Kupp. He had a fucking triple crown of receiving.
Well, that's the problem. His ass is never playing,
but he's never playing. So the question is, do you decide, okay, am I a contender or a pretender? If I'm a contender, do I keep him, or if I'm really just a pretender this season, do we go ahead and deal him, get a second round pick for next season, build upon having Puka Nacua, still having Kyron Williams, still having Matthew Stafford, build upon that with a nice second round pick? Do you decide to take that option? Do you think that's good for the Rams?
I mean, it's better than what they got going on right now. I'll tell you that. Shoot, get him up out of there. If he can't stay healthy, he's been injured for the past couple seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, get him up out of there. Try to get some compensation for him. You know how to draft receivers. You drafted him and Puka Nacua. So, I mean, getting another receiver in the draft is not going to be a problem. I mean, you got Tutu Atwell. He got to be balling too. So, I think you need to use that compensation for the defense, because that's where, you know, the weakness lies, you know, outside of your star receivers not being healthy. But, I mean, you got a good quarterback. You know, you can give him some guys with talent, and he'll be able to, you know, make them better. So
he'll be able to do something.
Yeah,
if he has somebody else that he can.
Yeah, and then the scheme is great. McVay runs a good offensive scheme. So, you know, as long as they have a good run game, you got Matt Stafford there, and you have a decent, you know, you can even have B-level receivers, and they'll be able to do something. But as of right now, they are pretenders. They're not. But like you said, the door is still open because the division is not as good. 49ers dropping the game. You know, the Seahawks,
DK Metcalf just got injured during that.
Yeah, so the door is still open.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what's a good spot for Cooper Kupp if he does, since they open and they accepting talks?
Well, not the Chiefs, because if I'm the Chiefs, I don't want no banged up receiver.
They got enough of those.
We got enough of those. That's the problem. We always get banged up receivers. So, So, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, right now, the Chiefs is probably one of the top teams that need a receiver. Obviously, the Bills solidified that problem. The Jets solidified that problem that they had too, as well. So, I don't even know.
You don't know? Okay. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I do feel like the Chiefs, honestly, is probably your
send them to Carolina.
What, you want them to retire?
Send them to Carolina. They need some receivers.
Like don't do my boy like that. I don't know, man. Chargers, maybe. They could use a big play guy if he stay on the field, but I feel like we might be putting ourselves in a Mike Williams situation again by taking on that. And he has a big-ass contract.
Right.
So,
like trying to pay for somebody sitting on the bench.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. That's a hard call, really, as to where he should go. But I think if somebody ends up going down a receiver before November 5th, trade deadline is on election day, by the way. If that happens, then you could see him dealt somewhere, and that's going to be very interesting to see where he helps. Because, I mean, he is good when he's healthy.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Right.
Anybody else that you considering as a contender or pretender?
Go, Pack, go.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers are a legitimate contender this year. As of right now, they've been playing great since Jordan Love got back. First game, he was a little but he started getting his legs up under him. Yeah. They're not talking too much about the Green Bay Packers right now. They've been kind of under the radar a little bit. Yeah. That defense has been playing lights out. I think they lead the league in turnovers right now. I believe so.
Okay.
And then Jordan Love, man, just offensively, they're able to score points. You know, you got him playing quarterback. You got the defense that's taking the ball away. Hell, they were in the playoffs last year. Nobody expected them to be there with that young of a team.
They cooked,
and they did
Dallas.
Yeah, they won a game. So I believe that they legit contenders right now, especially if you got to go out there to Green Bay to try to win a game out there. It's not an easy thing to do. So, you know, you got a good quarterback. You got a good run game. And you got, you know, young weapons, receivers that are getting healthier, coming back to play. So I think with that core on top of, your head coach is a stud. I think he's a really good coach. With that defense, that's contender worthy, man. I think so. I think you can. But the only problem is that division is tough.
It's a tough
division. All the teams in the division are above 500. Teams. Yeah, they're above 500. So somebody gonna knock each
somebody coming up short.
Yeah, somebody coming up short.
But yeah, they are very tough, and with the defense getting better and better, getting Jair Alexander back, I think helps them a lot. But they have a good rushing attack. Jordan Love, like you said, playing better, so they have a top 5 offense. I just feel like they're kind of a scary team to play against, especially in Lambeau, in a lot of games. So even for a good team, they still have some weapons and they still can put something together on offense to beat a tough opponent, So I'm curious to see what they look like against. They managed to pull it off against the Houston Texans. They pulled it off a 2-point win. We saw it coming. But it was a close one, but they pulled off a dub against a good team. So I mean, that's the mark of a good team. Do you find ways to win? So, and I think they're doing that, which is what has gotten them to 5-2 thus far, and they have a highly suspect Jacksonville Jaguars.
Listen, if your starting quarterback can go down for a couple weeks and your backup can fill in the role and still win games,
you good.
That's a good team. That's
a good sign. It's a really good sign. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. So switching over to another segment that's quickly becoming my favorite segment.
Oh yeah.
And looking at my watch, I think it's about that time. I think it's about time for you to clock out for me, big dog.
Yeah, you can go ahead and clock out.
So, in this segment, we know some people that's been doing good. We know some people that's been doing great, but it's a gang of motherfuckers who's suspect and doing not so damn good. So who do you need to clock out for you this week?
Joe Shane, the Giants GM, general manager, the one who let Saquon Barkley go to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I was talking about
zero compensation.
I was talking about that bastard before we even created this
Wasn't
segment.
willing to pay Saquon Barkley a couple more $1 million.
Listen.
But was willing to keep Daniel Jones.
How long have I been saying that?
Joe Shane, it's time for you to clock out. Saquon Barkley came back to MetLife.
And
had a damn near career day against the Giants to show you how much of a mistake you made. But I would say this.
He said he didn't do it. I called cap.
I would say this. I'm excited and I'm proud of Saquon going to Philly. I'm excited to see him succeed because he's a better player, as we can see, there than he was with us. Because for some strange reason, we just can't get it right.
It's not strange. Y'all didn't have no damn wide receivers.
John Mara, it's your fault too because you allowed Joe Shane to let Saquon walk out the building. John Mara said, if Saquon goes to Philadelphia, it's going to be hard for me to sleep at night.
Okay.
Sure enough, Saquon goes to Philadelphia. I guess he didn't think Saquon was a market for Saquon. I don't understand that. Everybody's in the market for a running back, especially a running back like Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So he goes to Philadelphia. So I know John Mara, you're up at night every night, especially after Saquon went crazy in New York in a Philadelphia Eagles jersey. So Joe Shane, I'm gonna need you to clock out. I'm not gonna blame Brian Daboll for the New York Giants offensive woes. He's working with what he has. He has Daniel Jones to work with. He's still under that contract. This is the last year. He's doing the best that he can. Daniel Jones cannot throw the ball down the field. He can't throw the ball accurately down the field. So that's why our offense is very much limited. So I'm going to give Brian Daboll a pass until we're able to get a better quarterback. But for right now, Joe Shane, it's time for you to clock out, big dog.
Well, I agree with you. I asked for him to clock out about 2 seasons ago. I asked for the motherfucker to clock out when they gave Daniel Jones all that money. I said that was a bad idea. I said, who does that? He was like, well, Danny's been putting it together. Danny boy. I'm like, he can't throw like that. Let's just be honest. He doesn't throw the ball downfield that well. He has his games. He has his moments. He has his flashes of a decent game. And that's cute. But you got to realize he's in New York City. Okay?
My boy Malik Neighbor said I was open.
I'm sure you was, brother.
He was open.
I'm sure you was, but he probably couldn't get that motherfucker there.
Couldn't get it there.
So, I mean, that's always going to be a root of the issue. If your quarterback is not doing that much, it's going to be a problem. But Joe Shane should have been seeing that before they even gave him the damn contract. And then Saquon Barkley was more so just the cherry on top. So Saquon said that he wasn't coming there, to show off and prove something. I call cap on that because he went in there and went crazy. He's been running very well this whole season, though. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to just say it was just because of that game, but I do feel like it gave him some extra spark.
Oh, yeah. Another thing, Joe Shane, you let Xavier McKinney go. A young safety. Didn't want to pay him. Didn't think he was worth the money. Now he's in Green Bay getting 5 interceptions on the season.
I'll tell you something else, Joe Shane.
You owe
him $5.
5 interceptions.
And he never got his $5, Joe Shane. We know everything you do. Another thing, Joe Shane, we heard about you running that stop sign. We on your ass.
Oh, I got another thing.
You did another thing.
One more thing on Joe Shane before we move.
What else he do?
Before the NFL draft,
okay,
Joe Shane asked his son, who should they draft?
Right.
You want to know what his son said? His son said, trade up and draft Jaden Daniels.
So the son got more sense than him.
Joe Shane, clock out. I'm done. Who you got?
Who I got?
Yeah. Who need to clock out?
Oh, I got somebody good.
Who you got?
I got a good one. Tua Tagovailoa. I need you to clock out for me, big dog. Not quite because you did something wrong, but just because I don't want to see you go. This man is talking about coming back and playing after another horrendous concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand it. You're a football player. You love the game. You love to get out there and do your thing. The Dolphins actually need you because they look like they need some milk.
Oh, yeah, they need something.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle have been non-existent. I heard somebody, I was out and about, and a guy told me, he said, man, I'm probably dropping Tyreek Hill. I said, that sounds crazy to me.
Wow. It's that bad.
It's that bad, though. It made sense because they played that bad. So, well, I get it. The team needs him. He wants to come back. He wants to play football. But the part that made me want to tell him to clock out, none of that. Mm-hmm. The part that made me want to tell this fool to clock out, he said, no, I don't want to wear a Guardian cap. I'm going to wear the regular. What the fuck is wrong with you, son? Put on the damn hat, man. Put on the Guardian cap, please. You talking about some you don't want. Why do you think he don't want to wear the Guardian cap?
Because it's not cool.
It's not cool. It's not cool. You think on the ground like the fucking Thriller video is cool? His arm was stiffer than a bag of bricks, okay? That's not a good look. Mm-mm. Somebody stop him. Force him to wear a Guardian cap, please, if you're going to play.
Protect the player from himself.
Listen, NFL fans everywhere got enough of a scare when we saw DeMar Hamlin go down on the field, and we was like, oh, shit, what just happened? We don't want to see it be you, okay? And on the record and the track that you're going with these concussions, it looks like you are in a scary spot, brother, man. Yeah. So I would say, at least if you're coming back,
wear the Guardian
cap. Somebody talk him into wearing the goddamn Guardian cap because I don't want to see.
If I'm the coach, if I'm Mike McDaniel, the only way you plan to is if you wear the Guardian cap.
By mistake, then it'll be like, look, I care about you. The only way I'm putting you in this game is at least if you put on this cap. Because then I'll have a little bit of a sense of security. I'm not putting your life in danger.
Right. Because then it's going to fall back on me as a head coach for letting you go out there without it.
Right. I think somebody needs to sit him down and have a heart-to-heart, talk to his man. Somebody get this man a Guardian cap, please. If not, clock out for me, big dog.
Clock out.
Don't bring your ass out here with that bull. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. But after all those things that have transpired and occurred, we do have another segment called MustSeeTV.
Yeah.
So getting into the games from week 8 of the NFL season, what is it that these people must see?
Man, these folks got
I
their
think the
hitties.
game that needs to be seen is the Bengals coming off of a bye and the Philadelphia Eagles. We all know that the Bengals have had a slow start this season, losing games that they shouldn't have lost. The defense hasn't been playing well.
Yeah.
So this is like a must-win game. I think from here on out, the Bengals need to win a lot of these games. I believe if they win this game, they're 500, right?
But I don't think they win it out.
Which puts them, well, here's the thing. They haven't played any divisional games yet.
Which is why I don't think they win it out.
So they still are in the mix, but this is a must-win game for Cincinnati. They're playing against a Philadelphia Eagles defense the Philadelphia Eagles team who has a really good offense. So this is going to be a good test for Cincinnati.
Defense is picking it up a little bit.
This is going to be a good test for Cincinnati's defense to see if they can bail themselves out, because they've been putting Joe Burrow. They haven't been doing him good service.
Listen, man.
So MustSeeTV, Philadelphia Eagles, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals must win this game. It's a must win for Cincinnati. They're at home. So if they're able to hold them off, they're a 500 team. And now that slump is kind of over as far as losing games, but they are now back in the mix of things with winning with being in the playoffs.
So
MustSeeTV.
Yeah. I'm with you on the significance of the game, because it does mean a lot to the Bengals. However, my problem is they won their one divisional game against the Browns. They did win that one. Then they played the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They played the Ravens. The Ravens
they
beat
did.
them in overtime.
Yeah, they did.
The Ravens beat them in overtime. And I think that's the only 2 division games they've had. So they're 1-1 in the division. So yes, they do have a shot.
They're still in it.
But you got to play the Steelers twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. You have to play the Ravens again, which is definitely not good. The Browns, you might actually beat them again. Plus, your record is not that good because your defense is ass. So my problem is, I don't think they're going to win out. I think they might be cooked because of the defense, not because of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
They can score. They just can't stop the other team from damn scoring. And when you play against these good teams, when you play against some teams of some potency on offense, it's just not going to be a good day. So they can beat up on people. Like, they have the Titans on their schedule. They have the Browns on their schedule again. And
they played bad against the Giants. The Giants was a good defense. I don't think they'll play bad like that against Philadelphia. Offensively, they played bad. They only scored 17 points, and it took forever to do it. One of the touchdowns came from Joe Burrow's scramble for 50-plus yards. So
for sure. They won that game, though,
to
their credit. But I don't think they win it out. I feel like the division games are going to be tough. And then I think you also have to just be realistic that sometimes people get hurt. So, I mean, God forbid they get an injury on offense, then they're super cooked. So I don't like it. I do want to see this game because I feel like it's a must-win situation for them more than Philly.
Yep.
But I actually think Philly pulls off the dub in this game and beats them. But I do think it's a must-see TV game. I think it's going to be very interesting to watch, especially considering the implications that are on the table. Now, another game. Now, had this been a different part of the multiverse, this game actually is supposed to be a much bigger game than it is. But the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers, I still think is a must-see TV game.
Yeah, it's the history of it.
The history of it, and just because we don't know what the hell we're watching.
Right, we don't know what we're going to get. With either team, we don't know what we're going to get.
It's a surprise.
Yeah. And who doesn't like surprises, right?
Who doesn't like
we
surprises?
all like surprises. So let's see TV. We don't know what the 49ers are going to look like with all these injuries.
I don't know.
We don't know what the Cowboys are going to look like with how bad they've been playing. So after that debacle they had and Jerry Jones getting all pissy with the interviewer and all that, so we don't know what kind of Cowboys team is coming out.
No, we don't. I mean, we're going to see if they got them fired up, having a bye week. We're going to see if that helped. They're actually 4.5-point underdogs in this game. Now, if I wasn't so anti-Cowboys, I might actually take the Cowboys to upset the 49ers in this game because it's a great spot for them to win with the injuries to the 49ers. But as a wise poet once said, we still don't trust you.
By the name of Sir Future Lot.
Sir Nevadius. We just don't trust him. But I'm curious to see this game because I want to see what the Cowboys look like after having that fiery speech from your great GM Jerry Jones, and also the banged up 49ers. Like, where the hell are you going to produce some offense from? So I'm just very curious to see this game, and that's why I feel like it's must-see TV. I think it has some great viewership if you're in the fantasy, if you trying to figure out a good dog or a good team to bet against. I'll say this, though. If the Dallas Cowboys lose this game, oh, yeah.
Pack it up.
Pack it up.
Pack it up.
Cooked.
Pack it up.
Yeah. Clock out for me, big dog.
Yeah. It's not good for him.
You lose this game, your ass is done.
For sure.
But
they done already, but
yeah. But getting into another segment that we got around here. These folks definitely need to know this segment. This is probably one of the most important segments out of all of the segments. It's a little thing that we like to call Best Bets.
Yep, Best Bets, baby. Clean sweep last week.
Yes, you did.
Clean sweep.
I played your parlay, so I made some money off of that parlay.
Clean sweep, and we looking to do it again.
For sure.
So let me talk about
you went 3-0.
3-0.
I went 2-1. My damn Falcons.
Yep.
But I kind of expected a letdown game. I did say I was sipping the Kool-Aid.
That wasn't the best.
I said I wanted to sip the Kool-Aid in that one. Out of the matchups, given the set of circumstances, being at home,
Seattle was desperate.
Seattle was desperate. They played like it too.
Seattle was desperate.
They came out. They played very well. Much credit to them. That defense, though, I wasn't expecting that much dominance from the Seattle defense over the offense.
They were desperate.
Kirk Cousins got
That's what you look like when you're desperate for a win. They lost 3 in a row. They needed that.
Yeah, they went out there. They went out there looking like they
was playing with their heads on fire.
Yeah. But so that was the only one.
We gonna try to do another clean sweep this week. 3-0 last week. I took all the best quarterbacks last week.
Yeah, you did.
This week,
it's not the best quarterbacks, but
it is actually the best quarterbacks.
Who you got?
First one I got, Chicago, -2.5. They are playing Washington. Jaden Daniels may not be playing.
So don't look like he's playing.
Don't seem like he's playing, so I'm banking on.
He said he's fine.
I'm banking on him not playing.
I don't think he's playing. Just out of precaution, I don't think he's playing.
Caleb Williams would be the best quarterback if he's not playing.
In that matchup, yeah.
Now, Chicago has been playing well. They're running the football. They got all their weapons back, more healthier. Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, Swift running the football. Caleb Williams is throwing the football. The defense is playing stellar. All that.
Yeah.
Defense is looking good. Defense is better than Washington defense. Without Jaden Daniels, I don't think Washington can do anything offensively. They might be able to run the football, but Chicago is pretty decent at stopping the run. So give me Chicago -2.5.
Okay.
My next one is the Los Angeles Chargers. They just came off of a loss.
Bolt up.
Heartbreaking loss against the Cardinals. They lost by a field goal. Lost by a game-winning field goal. You can't
win off of straight field goals.
Yeah.
5 field goals.
Right.
The Cardinals had 2 touchdowns.
You got to score touchdowns.
And 1 field goal that kicked your ass. You got to score some
But they're playing the New Orleans Saints. The banged up New Orleans Saints.
They more banged up than the 49ers.
The banged up New Orleans Saints. What I saw from the New Orleans Saints in the Denver Broncos game, the Saints could not stop the run.
No.
They could not stop the run. And what do the Chargers do?
Javonte Williams had a day.
And the Chargers like to run the football.
Yeah, they got Jim Harbaugh. They're going to run the ball.
They're going to run the football. So you got the Chargers -7, 7.5. I don't know what book you at.
I heard the Saints picked up Bailey Zappi. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Chicago -2.5. Los Angeles Chargers -7.5. And lastly, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I'm drinking that Steel City Kool-Aid. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're playing the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh -6.5. That we already talked about Pittsburgh. The defense is really good. Daniel Jones is not really good, especially on primetime games on the road. The Giants are falling apart. Pittsburgh scores more points offensively. Chicago -2.5, the Chargers -7 or 7.5, depending on what book you got, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers -6, 6.5. All better quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna roll with you. I like those.
That is a 3-0 week right there.
It could be. It could be now. It could be another clean 3-0 week. I might parlay that. We're going to see what happens with Jaden Daniels. That's your only asterisk on that. But I think that is possibly another 3-0. We're going to see, though.
You going to tell it?
Probably going to tell that bet.
Let's go. What you got?
I gotta go and switch gears. I know I just talked about them dropping the ball against Seattle, but I'm going right back with them, boy. Give me the Atlanta Falcons -2.5 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got some devastating news. Chris Godwin is out. You got Mike Evans hurt. He's also out. Hamstring. Which basically means that you're going to have to send out there with your running back.
Well,
that's it. Who else is
Tampa
receiving?
has a good running back now. Bucky Irvin and
Bucky's
White.
okay. Bucky's okay.
Yeah.
Let's not get too much gas.
K. Otten, receiver, tight end. He's been cooking. He had 90-some yards last night.
Man, listen. You're not finna scare me with Cade Otton. Okay? Cade Otton, that's your best receiving option you got? No. Give me the Falcons. Drake London has another big game. Watch out for Darnell Mooney. I think they're going to come with that Thunder and Lightning type duo at running back against Tampa Bay. Just because of their banged up offense. Tampa Bay's defense, they didn't do a damn thing to stop the Falcons last game.
Nor did they do anything.
But the Falcons didn't do it. They didn't do a damn thing to stop the Ravens.
The defense is giving up yardage.
I can't be scared of that defense with them giving up that many yards against the Falcons already and to the Ravens and other people.
500.
He threw for 500 yards on these folks.
He did.
You telling me he can't come out here and give me a strong 250? If he get a good run game, give me the Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one I got, Jordan Love. You already said they're a contender, not a pretender. And I think a lot of that is quarterback play.
100%.
Jordan Love, give me the Green Bay Packers -4. I'm liking them in this matchup they have going on because of the simple fact that I think they're starting to click. They're getting healthier on defense, and they're playing against the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, the Jaguars are back stateside. It's time for them to come on back to earth and come back to who you really are, which is a losing team. Even though they're in Jacksonville, don't matter. Give me Green Bay Packers versus Jacksonville Jaguars -4. I love it. And the last one. You know I don't like big point spreads.
Nope, you don't.
Normally I don't. I actually quite hate them. But one thing that I don't like more than I don't like big point spreads is the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah.
That offense and Will Levis is not doing a damn thing.
He was playing. I think it was Rudolph played last time.
I mean, Will Levis, Mason Rudolph, whatever. They're not doing a damn thing on offense. Let's just be honest. Tony Pollard is the only bright spot of the offense. And that's not going to go that great against the Green Bay Packers because they can play some defense. So I don't think Tony Pollard comes out here and saves the day and beats the Green Bay Packers.
In Detroit.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Detroit.
Against Detroit. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't think he comes out here and saves the day against Detroit with this 10.5 point spread. I'm not seeing it. They got too much firepower on offense. They got a great running back tandem themselves. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Now, it's a high point spread. But if
it's Detroit, man. They at home.
Detroit and they at home. Jared Goff plays lights out. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jared Goff plays lights out at home. It's too much talent. On paper, the Detroit Lions is a way better team.
I'm not a first half guy, but I'm going to investigate what it looks like on first half bets on this one because I think they could be beating these folks by 3 touchdowns by halftime.
Yeah,
So I'm not a big first half guy, but I'll even investigate that in this. So I'll take the 10.5.
Yeah.
Give me the Detroit Lions over the Tennessee Titans. So we have the Green Bay Packers -4, the Atlanta Falcons -2.5, and the Detroit Lions -10.5 as my best bets.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. But. These folks still gotta know one more thing. One more thing. Who's your dog of the week?
Yeah, my underdog of the week this week. Last week it was Detroit Lions. Loved them. Yeah. This week I don't love the underdogs so much.
You was 1 for 1 on the dog too. Hit the dog.
Hit the dog.
Clean
hit
sweep.
the dogs. Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. My dog hit too. I picked the Chiefs. Told you take the Chiefs off a bye week.
Now this week
I told you.
Not too fond of the dogs out there this week, but I do have one that I like. I don't love. I'm gonna take the Arizona Cardinals. They're playing Miami. Tua's expected to play. First game back. I think he gets a slow start.
Tua's allowed to return to practice on Wednesday. He's allowed to return to practice. More than likely he's going to play. Somebody make him put on the damn hat.
The Cardinals, they're a physical football team. I think, they got Kyler Murray, dynamic quarterback out there. They haven't been playing great as I expect them to play this year, but they've been competitive. I think they're going to compete. They're going to come down there in Miami. Tua's first game back after the concussion. He's going to start off a little bit slow. And I think the Arizona Cardinals, they're a real gritty team. They're going to go out there and find a way to win. Just like they did the other night. They found a way to win.
I see. And you and I talked about the Cardinals at the beginning of the season as potentially being a dark horse, wild card team. And they find a way to win and get into the playoffs. And it looked like that's what they're trying to do for real. Kyler Murray's feet move like this, like a fucking cartoon character. He do his thing. I heard Unc say that. He said it's a cartoon character, and his feet be moving 1,000 yards, 1,000 steps per yard. Exactly. So I can see that. But my dog, they very fond of dogs themselves. They even like to wear some dog mask inside of the crowd some games, and I'm gonna go with the Philadelphia Eagles. As I said earlier, I'm not convinced by the Bengals. That defense is trash.
Joe Burrow.
Dub, baby. Straight trash.
Joe Burrow.
It is Joe Burrow, but that defense ain't giving Burrow no help. And I feel like the Eagles about to go out here and run. Saquon. Look out for those Saquon props again. Then you got A.J. Brown. You got Smitty. You got the tush push. It's a lot of problems for that Bengals defense that I just don't see getting resolved. And quiet as kept, the Eagles defense has progressively started to play just a tad bit better. They're still not quite where I want them to be.
They play two bad teams.
They play 2 bad teams. So this is more of an offensive test, but I think, it's a confidence boost. It's more of a test of a good offense in this game. So we'll see how they do. But I just think the Bengals defense puts the offense in a bad spot a lot, and it's just a lot of pressure on the offense, and I don't like it. Give me the Eagles.
I ain't mad at it.
Give me the Eagles. Yeah, man, but with all that being said, you heard our best, you heard our worst, you heard who we think needs to clock out, who's the real contenders, who's the real pretenders out here, and our takeaways from the previous week. So the only thing left to do is make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. And
thank y'all for watching. Make sure you click the link in the description below. Props made easy, so you can get your prop bets going. But until next time, we see you on
parlays.
Parlays.
Making money line plays.
Yes, sir.
May these bets continue to pay.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Peace.
Like digits to pin niggas off. I heard all your lyrics and all this shit soft. How to put you on verses to take your shit off. All this capping and rapping, man. How this shit happen? Oh, it's money.